Hi, we're here with Terry White from Design Your Life with Terry White, and we're doing a little fireside chat today. So Terry's in the hot seat, and I'm going to be asking him some questions that he does not even know what these questions will be. So here we go.
Be gentle.
Let's start. There are some people who have wrote in and asked some questions, and I've added my own. So let's look. What do you think is the most important takeaway for your audience on Design Your Life?
It's pretty simple. That's the title of the show. Color outside the lines. Think outside the box. Do what's right for you.
And what does that mean?
Oh, well, it means think through the way you live. Think not about the commercials you see on television, not about TikTok, not about Reels. Think about the way you live, what makes you happy. And that is not as simple as it sounds. You actually have to live it, breathe it.
That's true. Because, I mean, we all get on social media and we look at what everybody else's life looks like and what we should look like.
And we compare
Yes.
constantly what we have with what other people have, instead of just realizing what really does make you happy. This is not a contest. This is not a show for other people.
Right, right. So you're sharing your life with everybody, what you do in design and like fun things like this beautiful Christmas tree we're sitting next to, because you want to show how you are incorporating things that make you happy. Is that kind of it?
That's exactly right. This year I did a lot of concept trees as opposed to traditional trees, but I have seen my share on social media of over-the-top, big fluffy bows, lots of bows. They're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but those are those people's concept of what they want to do and what makes them happy.
Right.
I don't like big fluffy bows. I
But
like
you are
things-
known to use some ribbon.
I will use ribbon.
Yeah.
I love ribbon.
Just not bows.
Just don't like big fluffy bows.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I won't ever use one. I just don't like them because they're an excuse. You can buy a bow pre-made and slap it on something, and yeah, it looks better, but it doesn't look as good as a hand-done ribbon treatment.
That's true. And he actually does have a video that teaches you how to do a bow. So if you're really curious how to do a real Terry bow, there is a video out there for you. And speaking of, what video comes to mind when you are thinking about your channel overall, that if somebody's never watched any other episode except this one, what would you say go watch? Go watch this particular episode.
Wow. I hadn't.
So many, right?
I hadn't contemplated that as being a question.
I know,
yes,
right?
we have.
tried to guess.
We have a lot of videos
We do.
out. Probably something having to do with the moss garden.
Okay.
And the reason is that it is unusual, especially for Nashville, Tennessee. This climate, having to water all summer.
You fight it
and
constantly
I fight
to try to make
It's
it look beautiful, but it
it's
does.
a full-time job, and it sort of is really the epitome of what I'm trying to inspire other people to do. Is, yeah, it's hard work, but it's very satisfying to me. Some people get it, most people don't, but I get it.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm trying to impart upon people is, do what is right for you.
How long have you been working on the moss garden?
Oh, gosh, I've had a moss garden for probably 15 years, maybe 20.
Okay.
Some small, some medium. The moss garden that we're referring to right now was my idiocy 3 years ago of turning this entire large area, approximately 12,000 square feet, into a moss lawn and garden.
Oh, wow.
And so I would say 3 years.
Okay. I mean, we know and love it. And I mean, I think it's super unique. And you've had a couple weddings there, which have been beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's just a unique thing to look at.
And if there's ever a moment during the day that I'm feeling a little bored and I don't have anything on my list, I know I can always go to the moss garden and there'll be areas to replant from my critter damage that occurs worse in the summer, but it occurs all winter as well.
Yeah, I was at the park yesterday and I saw the robins starting to take over again. So you might be having robins soon again.
Yeah.
He fights the robins a lot. They love his moss.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question for you. Speaking of Christmas trees and Christmas traditions, what is your favorite Christmas tradition that you enjoy with your family?
Wow. Again,
I know, I'm throwing you off
question.
today. It's
okay, my favorite are the nutcrackers.
Oh, yeah. And we haven't posted that episode. Actually, there is one from previous years, but he's added to the collection. So y'all wait, it's coming.
Well, I add one every year.
Yes.
And hopefully it's one from someplace new that I've traveled to. So each one of the nutcrackers either has some sort of meaning to me personally. This year somebody gave me as a gift the gardener. And I didn't have the gardener because they're sort of hard to find.
Yeah.
And I do collect two varieties, for lack of a better word. They're both handmade in Germany. And I could just never connect with the gardener one. And of course, there has to be a gardener one. So the nutcrackers really do. And it also represents my very first collection quality of anything I bought. And I bought a nutcracker in Germany when I was about 15 years old at one of the Christmas markets, and I've just been sort of enchanted with them ever since.
I love them, and you have a gorgeous collection.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So Terry, I know I've been privy as a friend of yours to have fireside and wine chats with you before. So I know a couple of your great stories about how you got started, but how did you get into what you do as your life now? How did this become Terry White's life?
Well, I was an accountant, and though I liked accounting, I didn't see myself doing it in 40 years, sitting at the same desk in the same chair. And I took a sabbatical. I had saved enough money that I could take some time off and just sort of traveled around, went to Las Vegas, dealt cards for a while, LA, and came back to Nashville and got a little bored with the month that I had set aside to stay here. And a friend asked me if I'd like to come to work. They had a big wedding at a flower shop, and if I'd like to work for the week. And it really was at the end of that first day that I just said, wow.
That's what you want to do.
I'd always loved gardening. I'd always loved flowers. I'd always loved design. And it just seemed to bring all those things together. So I spent the next many years trying to figure out how do you make it pay.
Yeah, do what you love until, what is the saying? Do what you love and it will pay itself, or something like that. I don't know exactly.
Well, frankly, I say it has to pay for the lifestyle of which I'm grandly accustomed.
Yes. And you have a very eclectic lifestyle because when I talk to you about your stories, you always have something from when you were growing up and, to your experiences. You've had an interesting career.
I have no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah.
There hasn't been very many dull moments in my life.
Yes.
And I'm very fortunate to embrace them, whereas some people run for cover, and I do not.
Yes, you just embrace it. Well, what do you think how do you get your inspiration? When you're doing, the trees or in the garden, your designs and changing things up, you're constantly doing something. How do you get your inspiration? Where does it come from?
Well, I think I'm inspired probably daily, hourly, by everything that I see, and I log it up in my brain. There are thousands of ideas bouncing around in my brain right here as we speak that I've never done, that I've thought about. And I generally never copy something I've seen. I try to make it my own, unique, but
Which is what you encourage other people to do.
exactly. And the arrogance that a lot of designers have is they want to be the first. And I am more realistic in believing that there's not really that much new out there. It's putting together old things in a new way, maybe looking at them slightly differently. But styles and trends are constantly recycled about every 10 years. Short skirts, long skirts. Nobody would burn orange, it's just like one of the worst colors on earth, really. But I read somewhere recently that it's going to be the wedding color this year. Now, none of my brides are doing it.
Okay.
But somebody in an effort to be new and different, and yes, burnt orange would be new and different.
Right.
In the thousands of weddings that I have done over the years, I probably only have 2 that have put a bridesmaid or multiple bridesmaid in any kind of orange-based color, because not many people look good in it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is really true.
But that's supposedly the wedding
Trend
color
report, you heard it here first.
of 2023.
23. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I have another question for you. Speaking of getting inspiration, what do you enjoy watching on YouTube and social media? When you're scrolling, because we all do, what captures your attention?
Well, a unique, unusual tree.
Okay.
Something that speaks to the family that has put it together and done it. A tree that is just over the top, just to be over the top, doesn't mean as much to me.
Okay.
I love collected ornaments and collected things. And the things that I do collect, the ornaments everywhere I go around the world, an ornament is constantly burning on my mind. And if I can't find an actual Christmas ornament, I just want to find something that represents the country or the lifestyle of that particular place. And I'll make an ornament out of it. I went through a period where I collected cars, unique cars to a place. The Fiat from Italy and the yellow taxi cabs from New York and
I think I've
the
seen that on your
Mini
tree.
from London and the buses from London. And I went several years and only would buy a car that meant something to the particular place or country, city that I was in.
Very unique idea. I like it. Some people buy shot glasses. He buys ornaments. I mean, If you didn't live and work in Nashville, where would you go? Where would you live? Like, what are some places that you could see yourself?
I could see myself probably only in San Diego or Salzburg, Austria.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not expect that answer. I was thinking like maybe France or Italy because you love their wine. But
No. I am in love with Salzburg, but I'm not unrealistic. San Diego has the best climate in the world.
Oh, yes.
Year
It does
round.
have wonderful weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Can't beat that.
Yeah, As I get older, climate does matter a little bit. But Salzburg has some of the best skiing. And I ski and love the snow. I love winter.
Yeah.
I just love summer and
little
spring more.
Because it gives you your garden.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, what do you hope for 2023? What is your wish?
Oh, my biggest wish, altruistically, is that the world gets a handle on COVID and the disruption that it has caused. The financial markets, family dynamics, and I would really like for it to start waning and us get control of it. And I would like for people to, even if we do not accomplish that, to go on living, start living again, but live reasonably, be smart, be safe. But I would like to see people sort of, living, getting out, and I would like to see more businesses accommodating a safer atmosphere for people to get out and get around each other. Restaurants pushing tables a little further apart, having fewer tables, things like that, so that we feel comfortable going out into the public.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, because you've been very careful through all this whole thing. And
I have.
And it really affected your business. I mean, as a designer and floral and events, and I mean, we're still, what were we trying to do the last wedding? What was it that we were out of? It was something random, like votives or something we were trying to find.
Votives. I've not been able to get the votives that I prefer for a year and a half now. And just little nuisances like that. It's, no comparison to somebody not being able to get eggs or gasoline prices, going through the roof. But still, I would like to solve those little nuances for myself and for everybody. Just to have it the way that it used to be, but better.
Right.
Always
improve. Always improve. Well, is there anything else that you want to add, Terry? I mean, those are my questions for you and our listeners' questions for you. I
didn't prepare any questions for you, but I do want to say thank you so much for pushing me to do this.
Well, it's fun.
In the beginning. And continuing to hound me along the way. This was not my idea, but now I do enjoy it.
You humored me.
I do enjoy it, and I kind of look forward to it. As I say, the whole COVID has affected my business in a pretty impactful way. But this has kept me mentally occupied and kept me creative during the slower times, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm really wowed always by your creativity. I know there's so many subscribers that are as well, and I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into the Terry White brain. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.